Whilst most Singapore bus enthusiasts they strive to collate or keep track of the amendments that happen over the course of time, as in the bus route changes, now I have to collate the anti-amendments done by a radical extremist group of bus enthusiasts. I don't know how many of these ideas would eventually make the cut, but here's the thing. If you want to live in your own world of delusions, okay, by all means, go for it. Just don't drag other people down. And the worst part is, don't send your suggestions to LTA if it's gonna make you guys look bad. And if the amendments actually do go through for whatever reason and actually get implemented, you now have a target on your back. Don't say I didn't warn you guys. My friend, my friend's friend asked me to collate this. So here you go. Swapping the sectors of service 2 and 12 and making the new service 2 a skip stop bus service with the new service 12 now going straight and the new service 2 now winding within East Coast, which not only cuts off direct connectivity between the East Coast area and Pasir Ris in general, but also cuts off direct connectivity between the East-West Line section, the entire East-West Line section between Aljunied to Bedok and extending it a little bit on both sides, cutting off direct connectivity from there to Changi Village. For service tree, there are many variations of delusions, and one of them involves making service tree skip the entirety of Punggol and sending service tree to Sengkang West. The other delusion is cutting off service tree entire Tampines sector and transferring these sectors to 39 and 81, both of which are supposed to supply the main roads. But now that they've decided that service tree will no longer go inside Tampines, now these two services have to take over service tree sectors. And it defeats the purpose of both services at the same time. Despite numerous reminders from people that Service 5 is literally the only bus service from Novena and Newton, cutting straight down to Tiong Bahru and Lower Delta, the group of extremists decided that it was a good idea to make Service 5 skip this entire sector and absorb the entirety of 132's route between Delphi Orchard and area and Bukit Merah. And that's not all. For the eastern side of Service 5's route, it involves like some sort of like weird jank rationalization plan between like what? Service 5, Service 8, and some other stupid trunk that they created to replace Service 5's deleted sectors because they cut short Service 5 to Tampines. And God knows where they actually sent Service 8 to. Like, I don't know, Bedok North Depot, Bedok South, Changi Business Park, Simei, Changi Airport Terminal 5. I don't fucking know. So basically, this crappy new service takes over Service 5 between Pasir Ris and Kaki Bukit and gets like sent somewhere else, which basically screws up the entire last bus connectivity for Service 5 that I rely on. Making Service 7 skip stops, I don't know between which sector and which sector, which would result in 197 getting strained because it's like literally the only local connectivity left for Guillemard. Service 7 is literally the only bus service that takes you from Clementi Avenue 5 to Ulu Pandan, Holland, Orchard, Bugis, and yet they still want to make Service 7 skip stops. Using the existence of 107 and 13 to justify the withdrawal of Service 853, which, I mean, 853M is like 853M is probably going to get replaced in the future by 966, but again. Service 13 serves outside. 107 and 853 serve inside. 107 doesn't go to Boon King Road or Kallang MRT. That alone already makes 853 and 107 different. But apparently these ex-junior college scholars cannot understand the difference between 13 and 853 and 107. And on top of that, quote unquote, in compensation, they replace service 853 with 134. Meaning 134, I don't know, it's from like Marine Terrace to Ang Mo Kio or Yio Chu Kang, I don't know, but basically they think they can just replace 853 with a 134 extension. And then I'm like, 134 loops at Marine Terrace, like, where the fuck do you terminate 134? Like, near Marine Parade. And still let it call Marine Crescent and Terrace. Just destroying the purpose of 134 in the first place. And also using other services, the existence of other services as an excuse to not run 853. I've talked about the difference between Serangoon Avenue 2 and Serangoon Central, but these people don't listen. They're just gonna mercilessly target 853, citing duplication with other bus services, and claiming it's a waste of resources, when a lot of elderly take 853. Yes, 853 doesn't need high capacity buses, but that doesn't necessarily mean you just don't run the service at all. Currently, the arrangement is like this. I mean, there were changes over the course of history, but they want to truncate this and extend this. So, conceptually, it's supposed to be something like this. Like, even if you disagree with this idea, at the very least, the last bus connectivity is like somewhat preserved. But no! For some weird reason that I just cannot explain, these Muppets decide to send 16 to Beauty World. What the fuck? 18 was designed, it used to be one of the straightest bus services in Singapore, alongside 28. But over the course of history, they have been changed to wind inside this area in general. And Service 18 is designed to hub spoke in this exact fashion. This exact fashion. Okay, it used to apply here, but that's not the point. So obviously, they changed this sector. I forgot what they changed it to, but they changed this sector. This service is already so windy, and they still have thoughts of extending this to Pasir Ris. Like, where the fuck are you gonna park this bus? It's not like Pasir Ris has infinite space. Like, real life is a Minecraft creative mode. This idiot decided that he's gonna take Service 19. But he takes Service 19 at the wrong times and complains that Service 19 has no demand during the time that he takes it. And he gets fed up with Service 19 being a straight line bus service, which was what Service 19 was designed for in the first place. And because this idiot now has the perception that Service 19 is a low demand bus service based on the timings that he took Service 19, he decided that it would be a good idea that Service 19 winds inside Tampines East. I mean, the minor streets, minor roads, to eat up Service 291 and claim that, at least like during the times when 19 has no demand, it can still operate like, a feeder and, induce some sort of like a cycling demand. Oh, and it's not just 19. They literally sent, like, the straight line services. These services are straight line, but he made them wind to eat up the feeders, like eat up this, eat up this, eat up this, I don't know. And even 29, which already whines, is not even spared from this. I don't know what the fuck they did with Service 21. Because I remember at one point they were like, oh, we sent Service 8 somewhere else, so Service 21 is now going to take over Service 8. I don't remember if this actually happened, but there's something even worse. Which again stems from the group's like complete disdain, complete hatred. They despise feeder services as a whole. So, Service 12 and 21, I explained this before. They go along Parseries Drive 6 and Drive 1. Because they're trunk services. Like, Service 12 takes you to Tampines Avenue 2 and Simei. 21 takes you to Tampines Avenue 7, 4, 5, 1 and Bedok Reservoir. Which means connectivity for Drive 6 and Drive 1. But no, these Muppets made Service 21 eat up Service 358, eat up Service 3, and leave Drive 6 and Drive 1 with no more Service 21. Like, you have to think about this. You remove Service 21 from this area. And then you swap the sectors of Service 12 and 2. So basically, Drive 6 and Drive 1, they no longer have any of their original bus services. Are you guys even okay with this? Service 23, historically, by the way, used to actually loop at Tomlinson. It doesn't loop at Tomlinson anymore. They cut it short to loop at Jalan Besar, Rochor Canal Road, and Serangoon Road. So nowadays, people actually take Service 23 to bridge the gap. It's like cross from one side to the other, like from the Jalan Besar side to the Serangoon Road side. And in compensation, these people, it's not LTA, but like SBS Transit, I'm so used to saying LTA right now, but they extended 65. 65 already has this route. It's like it was from like Lower Delta Terminal, they extended it to Harbourfront. But the main thing is that they extended Service 65 to compensate for the loss of Service 23 here. So Service 65 used to terminate at MacPherson Terminal. Then it got subsequently extended to Tampines. Back then its route was like Bedok Reservoir Road, Tampines Avenue 1, Tampines Avenue 5, Central 2. Now it goes by Avenue 4, but that doesn't really matter. The main thing is that from Orchard, if you wanted to go to like Tampines, in the past like Avenue 5, in the past you rely on Service 23, which didn't call Temasek Poly. It went like PIE all the way to Tampines Avenue 5. And Service 67 used to do that as well. Like the express sector between like Jalan Koyam Ayer and Tampines Avenue 5. Okay, enough with the history yapping. Basically, 65 did not go to Tampines, but they removed 23 from Orchard area. They cut it to loop at Rochor Canal, and in compensation, they extended 65, which already serves this area, to Tampines, so that people could still have a bus service from Lucky Plaza Orchard to Tampines. But then this group of bus enthusiasts, they decided to make this service a skip-stop bus service, extend it back to Tomlinson or wherever they want to extend it to, and they proposed to rationalize 65, which is like undoing SBS Transit's like SBS's hard work. I'm only saying this in case people get like, no, it's TIBS, not SMRT, even though they're literally the fucking same thing, or they're like, nah, it's SBS during the era, it's not SBS Transit. Yeah, I know my fucking history better than you as an outsider. It's just doing the complete opposite, making the skip stops, and the worst part is that like, you're gonna mess up the last bus connectivity for 60. 65, the last bus, especially the eastbound one, it reaches Orchard actually quite late and reaches Little India even later. they still have a last bus to go home, especially after there is no more downtown line in operation. I don't know what they did with Service 24, if any, but they made this service a skip stop bus service. Whether this suggestion is actually legitimate or not, that's not the point. But Service 26 was eventually amended to serve here, and then, yeah, you get the idea. But basically, 26 offers people living inside Chai Chi area east-west line access, like between Kembangan and Kallang MRT. 26 has to call the entire stretch. But what do people do? People decided that it was a good idea to integrate 26 and Service 40, which makes no sense. This one is even funnier. From a group that repeatedly praises 28 and 861 for being trunk services that go into the smaller roads. See, like 28, right? It used to be like this and then to Bedok before absorbing 152. But then Service 28 was amended so that the pivot is now at Tampines Mart and Tampines East Community Center. But these idiots decided that it was a good idea to completely change the purpose of Service 28, making it go, here, go inside, meow, and sending 28 to Loyang Depot. You just cannot make this stuff up. And even if you do something as stupid as this, at least be cerebral enough to compensate this area. But no, what did they do? They are like, I don't care about Tampines Mart. Let's make it so that the service does this instead. I want you guys to check the last bus timings of Service 30, especially the eastbound one. Now that you've checked it, can you explain to me why these idiots decide to make Service 30 a skip stop bus service? I don't know whose stupid idea this was, but from a group that claims to hate long loop services, they literally took a bidirectional service and made it Toa Payoh to Marine Terrace Loop, completely cutting off any connectivity to IT College East. And their replacement for this is extending 196 to Tampines. If it was local all stop, even if I disagree with it, at the very least, okay, every single stop is going to be replaced. But what do? DR 196 is a Sonic bus, which skips stops. You're replacing all the local sectors with a skip stop bus service. Does that fucking make sense? And even if DR 196's stopping pattern wasn't like this, and it was more of like this with a large express sector and then like this, it still doesn't make sense. With IT College East, at least there's demand for this service. At least it's sustainable. Now that you took it away, the Fairbox recovery rate will become like, I don't know, 5%. Yes, I do know that historically, it was from Bukit Merah to Changi Airport. It was bidirectional. But nowadays, 36 loops at Tomlinson. Where is Tomlinson? So that people coming from Changi Airport, they have doorstep hotel access. Like basically if you are at like the Claymore area, like if you're staying at the Claymore area, Orchard Hotel and stuff like this, at least you can take 36 through the loop. And you're carrying a lot of luggage. But no, these Muppets decide to extend 36 to not loop. Another crappy amendment that, suggested by them, forced by them, that would literally make you go, Astaghfirullah Lazim. They hate this bus service so much that, hey, Service 38, it's already a feeder integration between this thing and this thing. Out of necessity last time. Because 220 wasn't really useful. Like, this bus stop wasn't really useful. They had to find some use for that bus service. But they did it properly. So, what makes you think it is okay to use 38 or some other bus service like, I don't know, 137, like, to completely eat up 229? And it's not even the amendment that's bad. It's the fact that, like, for years and years and years, this group of idiots has been constantly pushing for 229 to get withdrawn and letting 38 eat up 229. It's like 38 is like the fast alternative between here, here, and here. Yes, granted, I know that there's this service. But the main point about Service 38 is that, okay, from here, right, you have access to Tanah Merah and not just Bedok. So I don't get it when people try to make bus services go through here. Okay, okay. Bro, there is nothing wrong with 229. In future, it's gonna be useful to link up Thomson East Coast Line. Like 229 bridges Chai Chee over here. It connects Green Line and Brown Line, just like how Service 11 connects Green Line and Yellow Line and Brown Line. It is a literal hub-spoke service, so why would you absorb a hub-spoke service into a fucking trunk service? And in the meantime, nearby, these idiots want to rationalize 39 as well. Okay, this is from LTG. Like, it's not even like 2 hours. And because they are like, I want every single bus service to be below 100 minutes with some exceptions, so why can't you make Service 39 the exception? There is nothing wrong with this service. And like I told you, 39 was designed to serve Avenue 2 and, F5 and 2 and 7. Because you know why? Avenue 5, Avenue 2, this connection was... no other bus service does this. I know nowadays there's like Service 20. Yeah, but back then there was no Service 20. And there was always 292. But that one is a feeder service. Please don't tell me these people would suggest to use 20 or 39 to eat up 292. Like, just please don't. But again, right, like, this one is the unique connectivity of 39. The sector that even brings 39 any form of demand in the first place. And they try to cut it away. Like, it's just like how Service 81, it brings Tampines Avenue 7 and connects it with the entirety of Pasir Ris Drive 1. Okay, that's 81. 39 is different in the sense that it applies the entire Drive 1 as well. But instead of like beelining straight to Tampines and serving Avenue 7 like 81 does, it winds a little bit for extra connectivity. That's it. It's simple. I'm not even going to use the map. 48, only service from Buena Vista to Farrer Road and Botanic Gardens. Okay. And then over here, it's like Ophir, Rocher, you get it. And then here is Marine Parade. It's the only bus service that links this area, and then links this area. I forgot what they did with 48, but basically they decided that, oh, we're gonna snip this sector off. Or, I forgot. But basically, they just swap the whole load of sectors, and they make it so that, like, oh, now service 56, right? Oh, it comes from Thompson Road. And they want 56 to completely take over 48 between KK Hospital, like Little India to Marine Parade. What they decide to do with 48, I have no idea. But they explicitly stated that they wanted 56 to take over 48 between Little India and Marine Parade. And then I'm like, what the fuck happened to straight line bus services? There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, this one you guys actually remember. Reminder that this is a gang that hates 334, hates 333, hates 335. And they want to get rid of, like, all of them. So what do they do to get rid of 334 and 335 in this case? They make it so that this thing becomes a green and white plate service. So it's like, you have like this 49 side, and then you have this like 334 side. And then the congestion at Jalan Ahmad Ibrahim is just going to be carried over to the 334 side. So let me get this right. They dislike 243, they dislike 410, but then they're somehow okay with this? Like, what? And because the leader has like some severe OCD, they are like, I want a 49M from Taman Jurong all the way to like Tengah. And they start all acting smart, bitching about the theory of like, oh, you know how the north-south connectivity is like lackluster, and we would like to send one variant to Tengah. And with our various other bus network integrations, you don't even have to run 49G and W that intensively anymore. We would just focus on like 49M. So what happened to frequency control? What happened to frequency control? So you're just gonna willingly let all the buses get stuck in a jam, and the people who used to take 334, they get affected by it, and then you're gonna redirect them to like, oh, we have other options like 98. Like, for fuck's sake, nobody in Taman Jurong or Tengah is asking for like a fast connectivity between the two areas. And even if you insist on that link, why not you guys extend 872 instead? Like, make it so that Jurong East Street 32, there are bus stops on both sides. Something like that. Not saying that I agree with this idea, but it's like, why don't you think along these lines instead? Splitting 51 into 3 services, whilst saying that 186 is useless because, oh, 970 already exists between like Alexandra and Upper Pickering. This is 970, okay? 186, it goes straight. Straight is not the same as winding. 970 does get a lot of demand at Chinatown. So can somebody explain to me why a literal JC student who has to take some, in most schools, they have to take some form of like mathematics. Tell me how a straight line is the exact same as a fucking sine curve. Or a cosine curve, I don't know. In bus terms, not understanding the difference why 186 runs straight and 970 winds, and thinking that, oh, I can just combine the both of them. Oh, and even worse, right? I told people that like 115 has to bring Kovan MRT. I mean, not really. You still have to go all the way to the former bus terminal to take 115. Okay, but that's besides the point. It is supposed to serve Hougang Avenue 3 to Kovan MRT, but that's not it. You have to bring passengers from the Kovan MRT area onto the correct side, the residential side of Hougang Avenue 3, and not the fucking industrial side. This is why you cannot ever rationalize 115. But these idiots decide that it was a good idea to like, oh, this service, I'm gonna make service 51 eat it up. And the thing is like, if you wanted to combine this service and this service, okay, be my guest. There's nothing wrong with this. But please don't involve the other services that have no relation to this at all. Next one. Imagine hating 410 green and white. It's not that they don't get demand. They have demand. There's a reason why they put fucking double deckers on a literal feeder service, you idiots. Oh my god, it's like they could have run a full single decker fleet, but they choose to put double deckers even despite the fact that it's a feeder service. I know SBS Transit hates bendies, but still. I mean, for the most part. But 410 has demand, so why you guys are like, oh, I'm gonna replace 410 with like Service 52, or like, I'm gonna replace 410 with like, that just doesn't make any sense. You guys realize that there is a literal mosque here, right? Like 53 and 410 serve the mosque. Oh my god, it's like, this is just bus planning gone wrong. Oh, it's like, you look at Service 410's current route, like, there is nothing wrong with this. There is nothing wrong with this route. So why you feel the need to like integrate it into this and this? I have no idea. You haven't heard the last of this. This one is meant to be local all stops. And they want to make this a Sonic skip stop bus. And to make matters worse, they're like, what? I'm going to send service 53 to Kovan, or like Kovan, and I'm going to send service 81 to Lorong Asu. Oh, sorry, this part. Tell me how any of this makes sense. Like, congratulations, idiot! You just cut off the direct connectivity between Serangoon Central and goddamn Lorong Asu and Hougang Avenue 1. Oh, and you want to know what those Muppets did? They're like, Service 105 could be extended to Kovan and E053 and in the process, I don't care that 53N served the opposite side of Nex. I wanted to serve both sides. I don't care that that's our taxi stand. I wanted to serve both sides. And keep in mind that, like, the worst part is that this one isn't even like a standalone amendment. If it was a standalone amendment, okay, I could still somewhat accept it. But this is only done because, oh, it's to compensate the lack of like direct connectivity between this area and Lorong Asu and Hougang Avenue 1. It's meant to be like a holistic package, like a care package. And even then, you want to know what's the worst part? They claim that like, oh, Service 45 already takes you to like Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1. You guys should stop complaining. Okay, 45 serves Serangoon Avenue 2. It doesn't even serve Serangoon Central, for fuck's sake. And then the second thing is that 45 goes Ang Mo Kio and Yio Chu Kang. 53 is literally the only bus service that takes you from Lorong Asu and Hougang Avenue 1 to Bishan. And now you just cut off their direct connectivity for no fucking reason. 81 is bound for like Woodley, like Bidadari, if I'm not mistaken. But even then, those people would be like, oh, we're gonna send 81 to Bishan as well. So this is gonna be like the local connectivity, and this is gonna be like my Sonic bus. Why are you like overcomplicating things? List down the bus services that go to Changi Village, or at least pass by outside of it. It's a very simple challenge. I'm sorry. okay, there used to be this bus service as well. There used to be this bus service as well, but okay, whatever. People don't really care about history, which is typical of Singaporeans. So, okay. Not only did you mess this service up, not only did you mess this service up, not only did you mess this service up, you make it so that this thing doesn't even serve Changi Village anymore. These people decided to cut Service 59 to terminate at Loyang Avenue, their new bus terminal or depot or whatever fuck that is. 59's total runtime, according to LTG, is 85 minutes. It is like 15 minutes below their threshold of 100 minutes. So why is 59 being cut to like Loyang? I have no idea. I don't know who the fuck suggested that, but you need help. You need some serious help. I showed it in the previous video, but again, another crime. Sector swapping 63 and 64. Both services have zero relation to each other. It's not like they coexist as a pair or something. No. They're two completely different services. This one is even a thing because historically it was 19A. Then 64 took over the sectors. 67 succeeds as a service because it's local all-stop. People take the bus from the intermediate stops to the nearest MRT station, or they take it long distance. And the East-West Line sector, 67 used to ply Jalan Koyam Ayer PIE all the way to Tampines Avenue 5. But ever since like this whole series of rationalizations occurred, 67 was chosen to take over Service 4. So instead of going PIE, it now serves the East-West Line sector. What even makes this service so successful? Again, local all-stop. And they want to turn this bus into a sonic bus. Some things are just unexplainable. I don't know what you're gonna do with this or this. Although someone literally suggested withdrawing this. Which is like, what? You guys saw this yesterday. Somebody thought it was a good idea to let 86 eat up 371. Like, you guys know that this service is like fucking unreliable and has like the goddamn worst frequencies on earth for such a short service. More sector swapping that I can't even explain. I don't even want to talk about this. It gives me PTSD. Once upon a time, they had an idea to make Service 93 green and white plate. Get out, man. Merging these two services together. Like, okay, I can entertain it, but they are only doing this because they want Service 183 to serve the entirety of Kent Ridge Crescent, which defeats the purpose of having 183 in the first place, because 183 is meant to take the fastest route between Clementi and its current looping point. And now they want to make 183 wind inside Kent Ridge Crescent. Or they don't even compensate that area at all, both of which are bad. So why not just leave these two services alone? LTA decides to extend these services to Tengah. They get unhappy, and they decided that 97 should be withdrawn and effectively be replaced with 97E. And they want to change the stop calling pattern of 97E as well. They want to make this full day, and they want to make this full day. Tengah residents are asking for like a local all-stop bus service outside their town. And now you gave them a sonic bus, which they already have. They didn't even ask for that. Once upon a time, this idiot, the same idiot, decided that it was a good idea to make 98 eat up Service 333. Like, completely eat it up. Completely disregarding the mosque's existence. Completely disregarding the fact that 98 is the fastest option between Jurong East Avenue 1, this area, and the main hub. And I don't even know what they're gonna do to 98M. They're probably gonna use this to like eat this blah, 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 I don't know. Why is this service even being considered for rationalization? Just like service 59. Hey, 59? That one, okay. I'm not saying you should rationalize it, but okay, that one at least you guys have some convenient excuse in the form of like, oh, PIE. You don't even have an excuse for this service. It is 15 minutes below your rationalization threshold, you idiots. The actual residents actually said they don't want 101 to be amended into Buangkok Crescent both directions because the people along here are gonna be affected. But no, these people, they decided that it was a good idea that I'm still gonna extend 101 to Buangkok, and then I'm gonna make it so that 43M covers it as well. It's a really desperate attempt to solve nothing. Like, people along here, they need access to and from. I'm just gonna quote the entire route of 101 at this point. Ready? Buangkok Green, Hougang Avenue 4, Hougang Street 51, okay, again in both directions. Hougang Avenue 8, Hougang Avenue 4, Hougang Central, Upper Serangoon Road. Basically, like, Kovan MRT and the part that's near Boundary Road as well. The reason why is because these people need access to the places that I just quoted, which is basically the entire route of 101, making the service scoliosis and poofing out some F variant, which is basically 103 doesn't need an E variant, and not just that. They're like, I want to make service 103 eat up this feeder, eat up this feeder, eat up this feeder. Claiming that 105 needs to be a fast connectivity between the west of Singapore and Serangoon, which is like the northeast of Singapore, tunnel visioning on that, and making it so that I want 153 to now go to Holland Road, Delphi Orchard, Far East Plaza, and Stevens, which basically makes 153 duplicate 123. Hello? Like, 153 is meant for Farrer Road, and these people are like, no. I want 153 to go to like Delphi Orchard. I want 153 and 123 to be the same. All because I want my precious 105 to go straight up to Darnian Road and Whitley Road. I want 105 to be a faster service. I don't want 105 to go to Delphi Orchard or Far East Plaza or Stevens, which actually gives the residents in like Stevens or people going to Delphi Orchard or Far East Plaza. I'm not gonna give people actual connectivity. I want my 105 to be a fast west to northeast bus service because buses are meant to be Sonic the Hedgehog. Mauling the feeder services using trunk services. I don't even remember which ones, but basically somehow 324 is spared. And then just messing up all of the feeder and feeder integrated bus services within Hougang and Kovan just to push their stupid agenda of quote-unquote saving resources when it's really just to satisfy one person's OCD. And haphazardly replacing parts of 113 with 62M, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't even make a whole lot of sense. You're replacing a full trunk bus service with a fucking variant of another service. Okay. Back to Buangkok. Like, you know, 114's current route is actually like this, and then like this, and then like this, right? No, as part of the feeder service integrations, I'm gonna make it that 114 actually skips this area. I'm gonna make it that 114 actually does this and probably eats up, like, I don't know, 325 and 329 in the process. Giving them extra connectivity between, like, Bangkok, this area, and this area, and the Silly Charferville area. This is brain dead bus planning. Oh, and did I mention forcing 116 to be bidirectional when it is more effective as a loop bus service at NEX? It calls the opposite side of NEX and not the taxi stand side. Once upon a time, I don't know if it has got anything to do with like Kampong Baro ITH or Tiong Baro ITH, like the future one, but apparently they do things haphazardly and they make 120 completely skip Lower Delta Road. I told people that 120 is meant for like these people and these people to access Red Hill, like Masjid Jamia Al Rabita, the swimming complex, Gunning Singh Secondary School, or Red Hill MRT, or the flats nearby. And let me just like, I don't even have to like think about how they're gonna mess up 120. The more I push back against the 92 eating up 273 nonsense, they're probably gonna be like, why not we do this instead? Why not we do this instead? I'm so smart! And to top it all off, there is the sector swap between 122 and 195. Which is like so brain dead. So I'm just gonna assume they want service 122 to go to Marina Center. When you think about it, it's not gonna make any sense because this bus service would end up completely duplicating 32. Not completely, but you get the idea. Like, think of it, doesn't even make sense that for a bus service to do like this. Meow, 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 meow. And this is their new 122. Keep in mind that whatever they decided to do with 195, it means that 195 is no longer going to call Havelock, Great World City, River Valley Road, which means that people from like, I'm just going to quote the entire route, Commonwealth Drive, not Commonwealth Drive, Queenstown MRT, Alexandra, IKEA, Depot Road, Telok Blangah Way, Lower Delta Road is going to lose connectivity to Havelock Road, Great World City, River Valley Road, Marina Center. I took 195 at night before from like North Richard or North Boat Key. It was like almost fully seated and it's full of tourists because they're along River Valley Road and some of them actually want to go to Tiong Bahru or even beyond. Do people even use their brain when they are sector swapping? Desperately trying to make this a like 129 serves St. Mike's. But these people are like, no, I want 129 to be extended to like Tengah. I want 129 to be like a sonic bus from Tengah to Tampines. It's like me and my friend were just like casually toying with the idea of like integrating this into this. Like it's just a very casual suggestion. Then this motherfucker just barges into our conversation like he always does because he's fucking looking for attention, seeking attention. So they're 129, by the way. They're like, I want to skip stops. I want it to like call only Tampines MRT and Temasek Poly because it's a skip stop bus service. And when I brought this up, that this sector is going to lose connectivity, they're like, why not we amend Service 15 away from the literal hub-spoke bus stops of Tampines Avenue 1 and Tampines Avenue 5? Why not we make it so that Service 15 now takes over the role of 129 as a local connectivity option? This bus stop and this bus stop is what brings Service 15 demand, you idiot! But then, no, I want 129 to be a sonic bus service. Why can't you just amend Service 15? me tell you, that's not the worst part. You know 129 goes to Tampines North, right? Like, if I were to trace out its route, it's something like this. Astaghfirullah, like, this idiot then proposed for 129 to completely skip Tampines Avenue 7, which is where the fucking amenities are at, and they're like, no, but I have the 100-minute, I have the 100-minute runtime. My buses cannot exceed the 100-minute or like 120 minutes. If not, how am I supposed to send this proposal to LTA? Cause you know why? He decided to make Service 129 go through here and sonic its way to Tampines North Interchange. No, it's like, first he proposed to truncate 129 to Tampines Interchange, and then people disagree with it. So he was like, okay, fine, Tampines North, but I want my 129 to be a sonic bus. I want my 129 to be a sonic bus. And when I told them, like, oh, this stop is needed, like, every single sector of 129 is needed, he's like, nah, it's not gonna stay within my 100 to 120 minute threshold. LTE won't accept my idea. Then let me give you a lesson in fucking social skills. Don't barge into our fucking conversation in the first place. We are just thinking of like basically 506 Tampines North to Tengah. I had an idea, but I was listening to my friend's idea, and we were just toying about, hey, what if 506 doesn't go via PIE and Bedok Reservoir, and what if it absorbs 129 instead? So okay, we were just discussing, and this motherfucker just barges in like this. Actually, I completely forgot if their 192 Sonic bus was actually from Tengah, or if it was like from Boon Lay, which is what even triggered this conversation in the first place. Like the fact that he wanted to truncate it to Tampines, and then when there was backlash, he decided to not touch the sectors between Tampines and Tampines North. I mean, not touch the sectors. He still decided to keep Tampines North, but then he made like 101 excuses to make the sector between Tampines North and Tampines a sonic bus, like skip stops, instead of actually preserving the original sectors of 129 between Tampines North and Tampines. Like, do you guys see the amount of like gaslighting that's happening? It was my own idea and then my friend's own idea. I was discussing with my friend, and he just barges in and takes over the entire conversation, makes everything about him. It was supposed to be just like Tengah to Tampines North. It's just simple. And then I have this idiot proposing, why not I combine my idea with your idea? Why not I let it start from like Boon Lay instead? Who the fuck is going to entertain a fucking Boon Lay to Tampines bus service or a Boon Lay to Tampines North bus service when they're just going to like point at East-West line, point at Cross Island line? At least Tengah has like neither. Like, if I just talk without showing diagrams, if I say Tengah, okay, at least that is an area that needs like better connectivity. But when Boon Lay comes out of his mouth, like, who can even take him seriously? Cause everything to him is Sonic Bus. His whole fucking life revolves around like Sonic Bus and messing up the feeder services. Oh, you want a Sonic Bus, right? Why not you experiment with 132 instead? Since that service is like failing anyway. And then a literal hub-spoke bus service, they wanna change its route. A literal hub-spoke bus service, which is what they love about 28 and 861. But they're like, no, I'm unhappy with 137. I want to change it because it's too whiny for my liking. Newsflash, it's supposed to whine. Truncating 147 to become Hougang Central to Bukit Merah Interchange and extending 185 from Buena Vista to Bukit Merah interchange, which means cutting off direct connectivity between Jalan Bukit Merah all the way up till Singapore Polytechnic, which is what a lot of people rely on. And not only that, completely messing up the last bus timings from Clementi to Hougang Central, and vice versa. Just trying to combine this service and this service. Even though I said this thing literally gets affected by St. Andrews congestion. The St. Andrews slip road coming from PIE. But people still don't want to listen. Like, there is a reason why both of them are segregated. Cutting this bus service to Woodley ITH. I'm done. Making service 155 do what it's not supposed to do. This is unexplainable. You can just watch my previous video documenting their crimes. Making cross-border services that are meant to be all stop in Singapore Sonic buses. This thing, the last bus runs very, very late at night. I think this thing as well. And if you miss like 67, if you miss 961, if you miss all the straight line bus services, you still have 170 to the city or something. I don't know, but you get my point. It's all stop local within Singapore for a reason. You make them skip stops, it's gonna be no different from like Causeway Link. Like, imagine your cross-border services, like you don't even have like a local service at the very least. Oh, this is just dumb. Haphazardly rationalizing this without sparing a thought for the late night commuters relying on 166. Most of the people complaining about 167 because of said controversial decision, I think like two or 3 years ago, I cannot remember like the exact time. I think it was like late 2023 or something. Majority of the complaints came from Upper Thomson Road, the areas that do not have any TL access at all, like especially between Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1 and Springleaf. That entire stretch of road has no TL. They are the ones who would have been the hardest hit. But what do they decide to do? They decide to make 167 a Sonic bus, which defeats the purpose of having 167 in the first place. Making 169, which is supposed to be a fucking fast goddamn link between Ang Mo Kio and the whole of Upper Thomson Road and Sembawang Road up till Yishun Avenue 3. But what do they make 169 do? They are like, I could make 169 just completely eat up like 262. Oh, I'm smart. Oh, I'm from Hwa Chong, you know. Like, listen up. Do you realize 169 is literally the only service from here that actually turns like this? Every other bus service turns here. Like, you know, your 132 currently, your 165 and 166. 169 is the only one that turns here. And that's why it has to apply the main road, you dumbass. There is 975 from Bukit Panjang and Choa Chu Kang to Lim Chu Kang nowadays. I mean, there used to be this, there used to be this, and there used to be this. Now there's this, and now there's no more. There's no more 206 from Boon Lake to Lim Chu Kang for a very obvious reason. Because there's no demand. And yet these people, they want to reintroduce a Boon Lake to Lim Chu Kang. I don't care if it's like Local Express, like Commuter Express, a Limited Express. I don't care. The matter of fact is that it's not going to have any form of demand. But when there was backlash against this, you know what they suggested? They suggested that like, oh, we're going to poop out a 172M variant that goes up and then goes back down. For what purpose? And not just that, they are like, I want to have a bus service from Boonlake to Lim Chu Kang, so 975, which loops at Lim Chu Kang, I want to make it loop at Lorong Rusuk. You're cutting off connectivity to the jetty for no fuck reason. This one takes the cake. So right now it's GL1, and right now it's Kampong Baru, right? No, the sectors are gonna be completely swapped. So basically, 961 after Farrer Road, heading south, you get my point, is going to take over 174's sectors like Orchard, City Hall, Chin Swee, and then 174 is going to be sent to Geylang Lorong 1. Which makes no sense! Because do you know how valuable the late night connectivity for 174 and 961, both of them are? I need 961's last bus, okay? I fucking need it. I know I'm gonna go back to Japan in like a few more months' time, but I need 961's last bus! From Woodlands, okay, I have TL, but like, from Bukit Panjang, I need 961's last bus! Like, the last bus arrives like Bukit Panjang station at like around 11:50 p.m. or something along those lines. Or is it like 11:45? I don't know. But you know what? Just like the 14 and 16 example, even after they sector swapped, they decided to completely cut off access to Marsiling and Woodlands and terminate the fucking shit at Sungai Kadut ITH, which is what they proposed. Which means that if you're studying along Bukit Timah Road, like the entire school, like belt meaning like, Bukit Timah Road, there are lots of like those high ranked schools, right? They only have they have no 960. 960 is only to the east of Whitley Road. Oh my god, it's like between like Farrer Road, the cutoff of Bukit Timah Road, it's like Farrer Road. That's the cutoff. Between Farrer Road and Clementi Road, that stretch of Bukit Timah Road, and not just that stretch, pretty much the entire Bukit Timah Road and Upper Bukit Timah Road, especially the parts that don't have 178. I mean, even then 178 goes inside like Marsiling Drive. 961 goes Marsiling, MRT, and Woodlands. It's like Bukit Timah Road and Upper Bukit Timah Road. 961 is pretty much their sole service to reach like Kranji, Marsiling, and Woodlands. And the worst part is that this thing doesn't even touch Kranji. Okay, it's like not touching Woodlands and Marsiling is already bad enough. But those people, they don't even touch Kranji at all. I mean, I don't count 170 because sometimes the frequency is absolutely horrid, but 170 is a nice to have thing. But essentially, right, I was saying that like, okay, the main point of 961 is to bring people from Bukit Timah Road to Woodlands Avenue 3, like between Marsiling MRT and Woodlands MRT. That's why 961 even gets demand in the first place, and you take it away from them. And the worst is that you don't even make 961 call Kranji, which is like double whammy. How are people allowed to have a platform to talk nonsense, and how do people even manage to spread this kind of like haphazard bus planning? Is just so beyond me. You can just go to LTG and check out 175's like total runtime, like between terminals, like between Clementi and Lorong 1 Geylang. You can just check out the total runtime. So why the service is even up for rationalization, I don't fucking know. I have no evidence of this, but the next thing they're gonna do is to probably make 903 get eaten up by 178. Like, I can just see it coming from a mile away. The withdrawal of 243G and 243W and replacing it with this. talked about this yesterday. Listen up. The current generation of 184, it intentionally loops in this fashion. 5, Commonwealth Avenue West, it calls the opposite side of most bus services for a reason. This side is jam prone, this side is not jam prone. 5, Commonwealth Avenue West, 2, and then go back up. 184 is way more efficient as a loop because it doesn't even have to enter Clementi interchange. Then I have all of these dumbasses who try to use this or I don't know, or use this to eat up 284, then to eat up some more of the feeder services, then to extend 184 this way or to extend 184 this way. The list goes on. Just don't touch this service, please. 187 already calls Bukit Batok MRT, and it's meant to go West Avenue 247. But no, these people are like, I want to make 187 call Bukit Gombak! And then making a feeder service eat up half of a trunk service. I don't want to go back there. You know 190 literally acts like a feeder between... It's not a feeder, obviously, but it kind of acts like a feeder between the entire Bukit Panjang Road, Teck Whye Avenue, and Choa Chu Kang. And they decide to make 190 skip stops. And skip Stevens as well. When Stevens is what even brings 190 demand in the first place. To correct myself, majority of the demand comes from Orchard. But there is a lot of people living along Stevens who rely on 190 or 972. So why would you make this service skip stops? I have no idea. I have no clue. Making these two services eat each other, making this a sonic bus, and truncating 197 to become Bedok to Bukit Merah when clearly a lot of people take this service beyond Bukit Merah towards Jurong East and in the other direction as well. This thing's last bus from either side, Bedok or Jurong East, actually ends quite late. People need the last bus connectivity. But no, these idiots decide to truncate it to Bukit Merah for I don't know what reason. Service 222. This is its route. But some idiots want to make service 222 start from Bedok North Depot, which completely defeats the purpose of having 222 in the first place. This thing acts like it complements service 14. Okay, that's one thing. And then it's faster than service 17, which is like this. Like to here, they would take 222. It's just a complete misunderstanding of how buses work in general. Oh, and again, I have no evidence of this, but they're probably gonna make service 137 eat up the entirety of 225. I can just see it happening. Meant to stay within the town. I don't know, it's like the 240, 246 thing was already bad enough. This thing is meant to remain within Boon Lay and Pioneer. And these people want to extend 241 to I don't know where. I don't know if they're extending because they want to get rid of the feeder services. Making service 22 eat up 261. Bringing the effects of Upper Paya Lebar Road and Paya Lebar Road congestion and transferring it to the poor Ang Mo Kio Avenue 10 residents. I really pity them if this actually comes true. For the record, I'm already quite surprised that 269 is not even mentioned. But 265, right? The eastern half of the route. You're meant to call Street 53, 52, and then Street 54 in this order. What makes you think it's okay to completely reverse the direction of this and let it duplicate service 88? Like, okay, this is what your proposed 265 is. And then this over here is... Oh wait, I need better color contrast. And this is 88. They're just gonna overlap each other for no reason. Like, 265 is not meant to serve this side. This side is meant for 268. And your lousy excuse is that, I want to extend 265 into this area. Why not you extend some other service instead? Oh, and let's move on to this one. 268. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this route. But because these idiots say, no, it duplicates service 76. Why not I make it not duplicate service 76? I want to make sure that 268 actually, takes over the entire sector of 265. Like, what the fuck? People taking 268, they have lunch at this area. And then now you're just gonna amend it. Oh, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk more about this. I've really dedicated enough time for this. And then there are other stupid suggestions such as this getting absorbed into this, getting absorbed into this, and every single one of them getting absorbed into a trunk. That's your dirty plan. Can somebody tell me, why is this even a fucking thing? Oh, and probably, they're probably gonna merge these two together. I forgot how they messed up 307. But changing 307 alone is already a crime, without understanding the history of this bus service. Oh, but even worse, I've already mentioned like many times, even after JRL, what's the purpose of Service 300? But no. Even after I made countless videos explaining why 300 cannot be extended, like, you want to extend, try extending this one instead. And make sure that when they transfer along this pair of bus stops, they do not get penalized. When they transfer from 301 to 301. Like, if you want to extend it beyond Chua Chu Kang. I've explained this before. But what makes you think it's okay to use a trunk service to eat up service 300? When this thing is not even extendable, because of the way this service is designed, it's not even extendable in the first place. Now, granted, you could probably send some other trunk service in, like to boost service 300. I don't mind that. But you still have to keep this bus service intact. Let me just recall what the hell happened with the feeder services. I forgot how they actually did it, but yeah. Or even stupid suggestions such as extending this to Tengah. Like, you already have 870 and 97 to Tengah. Why do you need service 333 to Tengah? It's so stupid. And for Pasir Ris, it's the same thing. Like, using the trunk services to eat up the feeders. When there is absolutely nothing wrong with like the Pasir Ris feeders in the first place. You want to alter the feeders routes a little bit, I don't mind. But can you stop using trunk services to eat up feeder services? I'm begging you for like the quadrillion septillionth time. Making 372 start from Sengkang West Depot. When 372 is like, it's meant to be this kind of service. Okay, historically it was like this. It was like this. But this kind of service can never be extended to Sengkang West Depot, you imbeciles. You could argue that Yishun and Punggol probably need feeder service reorganization. Not using trunks to eat them up, but like just general feeder reorganizations to make them less messy. But Sengkang doesn't need it. I mean, from a group that decides to use 86 to eat up 371, they're probably going to use another trunk service to eat up 374. Or even the CDS and, I'm going to make it full day, blah blah blah. Lucky Plaza has good food! Like, seriously, Why are these still on the list? On the list whereby on the rationalization consideration list. Like, why are these still on the list? Lord have mercy. I don't even know how to explain this nonsense. Or this nonsense. Or this nonsense. Or this nonsense. Hey, unless you can come up with like an actual good idea, I'm not gonna take it seriously. If it's just cutting away parts of a feeder service and giving it to a trunk whilst actually optimizing the feeder service, I don't even mind. But you don't just get rid of the entire feeder service unless it is like absolutely necessary. Making 851 skip stops when it's literally a bus service that's catered towards the elderly and shopping passengers, like shoppers at Little India, Bugis, Chinatown, and also it being the lifeline for Henderson and Tiong Bahru. Because 16 and 851's routes are different, obviously. So why do you even make the service skip stops? Amending 852, the Thompson Road, PIE, Whitley, and Bukit Timah Road, just because they made 851 skip stops. And when I called them out on their bullshit, they came up with this crappy excuse of a 130M that loops like this and runs into Balestier congestion. Why are you guys overcomplicating things? You don't need this. You don't need this. Just leave this alone. Just leave this alone. I don't know if this is legitimate or not, but 857 already skipped stops, and now you want to make it skip more stops. Not just that. It's like from Yishun to Suntec, right? These people complain about Service 36 being slow, when it's meant to serve Marine Parade in the first place. So, they extend 857 to Changi Airport. Just like a Sonic bus, using ECP. Why would you go down and then go up again? Makes no sense. All you have to do is to make 852 layover at Terminal 2. But no, what do? You truncated 858 to Chencharu, or you truncated 858 to Pongo Coast. I keep pronouncing Chencharu wrong, so pardon me. And then spawning another bus service from Yishun to Changi Airport, which is like, you're gonna make both bus services lose demand. Both resultant bus services lose demand, you idiot. They claim that, oh, your connectivity matters, but they go around like cutting off direct connectivity, like essential ones. Just watch, they're probably gonna integrate this with another Yishun feeder. I don't know, maybe this? It's all dirty. One Muppet decided to make 912 eat up 913 and skip Admiralty MRT. Pretty much all of your suggestions involve the feeder services. Oh, one takes the upper half, one takes the lower half, blah blah blah, skipping Admiralty. Like even their 904, which got eaten up by a city direct service and it became full day, skips Admiralty. Like even their own 912 concoction skips Admiralty. They just ignore, conveniently, casually ignore the placement of Admiralty MRT. People want to go from here to here. People want to go from here to here. People want to go from here to here and here to here. That idiot started complaining that, people from Woodlands Crescent, they have to like throw one around before they go to Admiralty. I want a bus service that is faster. And surprisingly, in this case, they actually don't mind the feeder service. But then this site is gonna lose connectivity. I don't really want to elaborate on this because I've already elaborated before, but basically, every single Woodlands East feeder service gets like thrown out of Admiralty MRT. Like as if it's dodgeball and you're trying to avoid Admiralty MRT. And other stupid things like 912, starting from Woodlands checkpoint, they want an ITH there, skipping the entirety of Woodlands, the central hub, which is what brings these services demand in the first place. I don't know what is with their like other services, but pretty much their main intent is to make it so that Woodlands checkpoint now becomes a terminal. They can now disregard Woodlands, the central hub, and then just link it to the Admiralty area. And if that's not enough, they're gonna extend this to like Sembawang, Canberra, Yishun, making feeder services eat up other feeder services. Or making trunks eat feeder. You get it. I'm too lazy to change the image, but basically, making 966 skip Woodlands, sending it to Bukit Panjang, interchange. So basically, amending 972 to Bangkit Road, and amending this one to Bukit Panjang to basically take over the feeder services. And then their suggestion is that they want to turn BK and PIE from expressways into like West Coast Highway, Punggol North Avenue. They got bus lanes, and all of the exits that cut across the bus lanes, said bus lanes, are signalized. So basically, every other mode of road transport, I mean, every other road user gets unfairly sandbagged just to make buses run faster. What about emergency vehicles? Like, okay, you can argue that maybe let's make let's make emergency vehicles use the bus lanes as well. Okay, but what happens when like a vehicle breaks down inside said bus lane? Isn't it worse? It's just they have no understanding of like vehicles at all, like in general. Like at this point, they're probably gonna say, "Oh, the bus lane is like a double white line, and it's only near the exits whereby it won't be a double white line, and it'll be signalized." Blah blah blah. Anything to make their buses go faster. Anything to rig traffic lights in their favor. Anything to ensure that only buses go faster and people who actually drive for a living, be it like delivery people or like private bus drivers, truck drivers who need to deliver stuff. You get the point. People who drive for a living get slowed down in favor of the buses going fast. Like that makes no sense. I don't even want to know what they did with the feeder services. Just spare me the agony already at this point. Amending 960 to Petir Road instead of Bukit Panjang Road blocks what was the block again? It was like what? 270 and 223 or something. Instead of there, they want to amend 960 to Petir Road. Okay, I can entertain that. It's still not so bad. I've talked about how they tried to use 970 as a reason to get rid of 186, right? And claiming that 186 isn't a useful bus service, which is complete bullshit. You don't even understand the history of why the current 186 was even formed in the first place. Like, go read your history, guys. And if that's not I mean, to make things worse, they're probably gonna find some shitty excuse to get rid of 970. Why? I don't know. Them claiming 970 wastes resources when it clearly doesn't. You run it at 15 to 20 minute frequencies, the bus actually gets fully seated in most cases. Or some stupid suggestion saying they should eat 992. Why don't you make this route distinct? Like, why don't you make it Bukit Batok West Avenue 3? And why don't you make this one unchanged, like its current route? Or even you make it so that 992 does, like, the whole West Avenue, 6, 8, 5, if I'm not mistaken. 685 Bukit Batok Road Troll. And then you make 852 go straight into Tengah Drive or something. Why don't you make this one go straight and not make them integrate haphazardly. Like seriously, even with my eyes closed, I can literally suggest something. If you don't want 852 to run like this, okay, fine. Why not make it so that you see, right? You have 992 that does this. I think it's like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why not you make 852 do this instead? Like you can even compensate the the one bus stop that got skipped as a result of 992 being amended. Why not you compensate 992 like this? Like you can have 852 doing this, simple, and you can have 992 doing this. Or even if you don't want that, okay, why not let's make it so that this thing, again, I didn't even plan this video, plan the things that I wanted to say in this video. Why don't you make it so that this is like 106? Like 106 can actually do the service tree, do the service 265 strategy, call Bukit Batok interchange both bounds, so that no passengers get sandbagged. And then finally for 852, you could make 852 either do this or do this. Just giving suggestions, but you get the idea. Why do you have to make 852 eat out 992 or something? I have no idea. Can you believe a group is so bad at bus planning that this video would take like 1 hour and 30 minutes to even briefly scrape the surface of like your bad bus planning? Without even going into detail, it takes like 1 hour and 30 minutes. And if you script this video, it's gonna be worse. Like I haven't even gone to like the direct expresses, the relay expresses, which is just feeder express but rebranded, or like E changing to F. Okay, those are still fine, but the direct expresses, there is no use, there is no justifying using taxpayer money to run these fetch Airbus services. They claim to hate the Marine Parade or Pongo shuttles when their own bus services are even worse. Hopefully I provided ASMR for you, my friends. Screaming ASMR.